What's up YouTube? It's George here and I'm bringing you another unboxing video. This time we have the Ion Air Pro HD Sports Camera. Alright, so now we've got it out of the package for you, and I've laid out all the different accessories and components on the table, so let's go through each one of them. Let's start with the paperwork that it comes with. We've got a quick start guide, some warranty info, and also a CD with some basic video editing software on it. Next we have a lanyard clasp, and also a nice nylon carrying case. Okay. And a little pamphlet telling you about the Ion Cloud, which is their own video and photo storage in the cloud. Next we have an audio-video cable to connect your camera to the television using standard RCA inputs. And then next we have the USB wall adapter that comes with 4 different region plugs. I have the American version installed. It also comes with a mini tripod that it has flexible legs and a USB to micro USB cable for charging and data transfer. And this here, which looks to be a tool to remove the mount. Okay, so now that we have it unboxed and we've gone over all the accessories, let me take you around the actual camera here. So this is the Air Pro model, and on the very front we're going to see the wide-angle fisheye lens. Okay. And moving to the top, we're going to see the power button and also the record and stop switch. So all you do is push it to the front to record a video and then push it back to stop. Very easy to control when it's mounted on a helmet or somewhere. On the bottom here you're going to find the mount for a tripod or any of the accessories that are not included with the camera, but you can buy them separately. And here's the lanyard mounting point. Alright, and that's pretty much it. So let's go to the back of the camera where all of the controls and connections are. It has a cap, and it has a lock button here that you switch up, and then you can turn the cap and it comes off. And so here are all of your connections. On the top you have a micro SD card slot. You have your audio video output. You also have a mini HDMI in case you want to put it on an HD TV. You have a little switch here to switch from standard HD to full HD. You have your micro USB port for charging and data transfer. And finally a reset switch in case you need to reset the software of the camera. And inside this little part here, I don't know if you can see it, but there's, it looks like a little micro USB dongle, and I think this is where you would insert the optional Wi-Fi accessory that gives the camera Wi-Fi capabilities. And that's about it for the camera. I think I'll put up on the screen a little test footage now from the camera so you can see what it looks and sounds like. Alright guys, this is going to be some test footage from the Ion Air Pro. This is just outside in my backyard because I don't really have any interesting sports to show you. But this is going to be in 1080p at 30 FPS. Okay. And I'm just holding the camera in my hand.
And now let's test out the underwater footage. Okay. Alright, so that was some underwater footage. Let's test out some macro.
Alright guys, so now that you've seen the test footage from the Ion Air Pro, you can decide for yourself what the video quality is like, but from what I've seen, it's very good. I mean, it's 1080p at 30 FPS, I wanted to talk about a couple of things with this camera. First of all, let me tell you, yesterday actually, when I was carrying the camera around my house, I dropped it on the tile from about 5 feet up, directly on the tile, and the only thing that I could see that happened to it was a little dent here in the front, on the plastic around the lens of the camera, but that's really about it. The rest of the camera seemed to be functioning properly, so at least you can know that it can take a hit if you drop it or something. And so I was pretty impressed with that. Let's move on to some other things, some other details about the camera. So it can record in 1080p, 960p, or 720p resolutions. And 720p is at 60 FPS. And that's better for if you're going to do some slow motion footage or something like that. And then 1080p and 960p are at 30 FPS. So keep that in mind. And also, if you press the power button here, which is also a shutter button, you can take pictures with the camera. And also, every video that you record, it actually records 2 files. One is the full resolution file, and then the other one is a smaller resolution video file that's a lot, less megabytes than the full 1080p video, and that's for sharing it on, Facebook, or sending it over email or text or something. Where you cannot have a large video file. It's kind of annoying that you can't really turn that off, but it is what it is. Also, the way that the camera communicates and lets you know what you're doing is that it vibrates. So when you start recording, it'll do vibrate. When you turn it on or off, it'll do like a long vibrate or a few vibrations. And I guess that's so you can kind of just feel what you're doing, because if you have it mounted on your head or somewhere, you can't really see the LED light that lights up to indicate whether it's on or off or recording. So that's a nice feature to let you know really what you're doing. Alright, what else? So let me show you some of the software of the camera. It was very easy to set up. Basically, all you do is insert a micro SD card, connect it to your computer via the micro USB cable, and there will automatically be an ion.exe file in the SD card folder of the camera. You just click on that and it'll set up the Ion Air Pro software. Let me pull that up for you real quick. Alright, so hopefully you can see this pretty well. So this is just the basic software that lets you do a couple of things. So in the settings menu up here, under General, you can reset the camera if you want, change the language of the software, change your television type. You can have auto power off after 1 minute, 3 minutes, or off. You can turn the auto rotation on or off. You can format the camera and you can set the date and time that'll be recorded on your videos. Then in the video tab, you can choose the resolutions on the physical switch on the camera. So the full HD, you can choose 1080p or 960p. And then at HD resolutions, you can choose 720p at 60 FPS or 720p at 30 FPS. And for photos, you can choose the photo resolution from VGA to 3 megapixel, 5 megapixel, and 16 megapixel. Okay, and you can also choose the photo mode. So this is what happens when you when you press the shutter button. You can choose to take a single photo, a burst shot, or a time-lapse shot. And then you can choose the length of time for the time-lapse from 5, 10, 30, or 60 seconds. And that's pretty much it for the settings. You can also update the firmware, check for the firmware, and then you can also browse the files on the camera and connect to their social media and also the Ion Cloud. Alright guys, so that was the software of the camera, and there are a few closing points I have about it before I end the video. So the Ion Air Pro, I got this on a crazy sale. I got it for about 60 bucks, and usually I guess the retail price is around 200. So that's the only reason I got it, just to check it out. And it's very good. I think I'll take it on trips with me. It's a very convenient camera because it's waterproof, it's so small. It has a wide-angle lens, so you can really capture a lot of footage. And yeah, it seems pretty good. And but I was a little disappointed because the advertising and the packaging was a little misleading. The word Wi-Fi is everywhere, and I guess you can buy the Wi-Fi version, but you can also buy a Wi-Fi adapter. I guess these caps are called pods, and there's a version of the pod that has a longer connector that actually hooks up to this part here and adds Wi-Fi capability. So that was a little annoying. Also, the fact that it didn't come with any mounts, specifically for this camera. Luckily, it does have a standard tripod mount, so you can use whatever you've got. And yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on the camera. If you want to see more specifications on the product, I'll put a link in the description to the Amazon page, and you can read all about it there. I don't want to bore you with that stuff right now, but yeah, so that's my unboxing and overview of the Ion Air Pro camera. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments.